Have you ever been hit with a question that looked harmless, but something deep inside you whispered, "This is wrong"? A calm voice, a gentle smile. But the second you answered, you felt the trap close. That's not curiosity, it's strategy. Manipulators don't always strike with obvious lies. They shape the battlefield with their questions. If you don't see through it, you'll end up doubting yourself, apologizing for things you never did, even turning your energy against yourself instead of them. This is how liars win, without ever raising their voice. The ancient Stoics saw this tactic too, years ago. Seneca, Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, they warned us that deceit rarely comes head-on. It creeps in sideways, planting tiny seeds of doubt until you start tearing yourself apart. And here's the hard truth. These tricks haven't evolved. They've just become more subtle. Today, I'm going to expose the 5 most dangerous questions liars use to manipulate you. And more importantly, I'll show you how a Stoic warrior would crush each one with calm, unshakable clarity. The first trap comes dressed as concern. Why are you being so sensitive? On the surface, it sounds innocent, maybe even caring. But don't get fooled. This is the opening bullet of a manipulator. Hidden inside is not curiosity, but accusation. What they're really saying is, you're weak, you're imagining things. The problem isn't me, it's you. Think back. Have you ever confronted someone about something that felt wrong, only to be laughed off? Relax, you're too sensitive. Or maybe at work, you raised an ethical concern and got brushed aside with, "Don't overreact, it's just business." That's not concern, that's dismissal. It's a weapon designed to strip you of your sharpest defense, your awareness. They want you to take your sensitivity, which is actually your radar for danger, and believe it's a flaw. And once you believe that, you stop trusting yourself. That's exactly where they want you. Blind, doubting, disarmed. The truth is this: sensitivity is not weakness. Sensitivity is perception sharpened. It's the radar that spots cracks in the wall before anyone else notices. A financial analyst who catches subtle inconsistencies in the books, mocked as paranoid, later proves a multi-million-dollar fraud. A wife senses the smallest shift in her husband's behavior, dismissed as overreacting until betrayal is uncovered months later. In both cases, awareness wasn't a curse, it was an early warning system. But manipulators want you blind. They attack your awareness first, because once you doubt your own radar, you'll surrender the fight without realizing it. The Stoics knew this. Seneca warned, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality." Liars plant seeds in your imagination, so you torment yourself. But the Stoic flips the frame. Instead of apologizing, he reframes sensitivity as strength, awareness sharpened into armor. So, what would a Stoic do when confronted with, "Why are you being so sensitive?" He would not defend, he would not rage, he would not shrink. Marcus Aurelius said, "If someone can prove me wrong and show me my mistake, I will gladly change, for it is truth that I seek, not victory." A person who values you will never shame your awareness. Only those hiding something fear your perception. That's why the Stoic answer is simple and devastating. Look them in the eye, breathe, and calmly reply, "I'm not being sensitive, I'm being observant." Does that make you uncomfortable? One sentence: steady, calm, unshaken. Watch how fast the mask slips. Because liars rely on your guilt, your fluster, your apologies. They don't expect composure. They don't expect clarity. And when you hold the line with reason instead of reaction, their weapon breaks in their hands. The next question is deceptively soft. "You trust me, right?" At first glance, it sounds gentle, even affectionate, but look deeper. This is not a request. It's a command, it's pressure disguised as intimacy. Think about it. A person who is truly trustworthy doesn't need to demand your faith. Their consistency, their actions, their truthfulness, those speak louder than any words. But when someone leans in and insists, "You trust me, right?" what they're really saying is, "Don't think, don't question, just hand me control." It's a shortcut to blind obedience. Epictetus warned, "It is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows." Liars use this very principle. They want to shut down your curiosity, to make you feel guilty for caution, to convince you that asking for proof means betrayal. But listen carefully. Caution is not betrayal. Caution is wisdom. When someone demands, "You trust me, right?" a Stoic doesn't flinch. He doesn't scramble to reassure. He doesn't collapse under guilt. Instead, he remembers apatheia, the discipline of not letting emotion override reason. Trust is not a gift to be handed out under pressure. Trust is a fortress built stone by stone through time, truth, and consistency. So when pressed, the Stoic pauses, breathes, and replies with calm precision. Trust is earned through consistency. Are you asking me to ignore my judgment? That single line flips the frame. The liar expected you to panic. Instead, you shifted the weight back onto them. A liar will stumble, deflect, or lash out, but a person of integrity will not be offended. They'll keep proving themselves through action. Remember, giving away trust too quickly is surrendering your peace. The Stoic never gives away his fortress without proof. The third trap comes fast and sharp. Are you accusing me of something? Don't underestimate this line. It's one of the cleverest shields in the liar's arsenal. Here's how it works. You raise a concern, you point out something that doesn't add up. Instead of answers, you get an attack. Suddenly, the spotlight flips. You're no longer the one observing. You're the villain on trial. And just like that, you find yourself scrambling. No, that's not what I meant. You backpedal, you defend, you explain. And in that instant, your power is gone. This is manipulation at its finest, forcing you into defense while they sit back and watch. Marcus Aurelius warned, the best answer to anger is silence. But in Stoicism, silence is not surrender. It's strategy. It's refusing to fight on the enemy's terms. And that's exactly what this question demands of you. Don't play their game. When a liar snaps, are you accusing me of something? The Stoic doesn't panic. He doesn't rush to fill the silence or prove his innocence. He holds his ground. He lets the weight of silence do the work. 2 seconds, 3 seconds. Then, steady and calm, he replies, should I be? Just 3 words, simple, direct, devastating. Why? Because manipulators expect fear. They expect you to fold. What they don't expect is composure. That short question flips the burden back where it belongs, on them. Think about it. A guilty boss confronted about missing money. Are you accusing me of stealing? A partner cornered by secrecy. Are you accusing me of cheating? Their goal is always the same, to turn your search for truth into an attack you must defend. But the Stoic refuses the bait. He knows truth does not panic. Wisdom does not apologize for observation. The next question sounds tender, almost wounded. Would I ever lie to you? Don't be fooled. This is poison wrapped in velvet. It's not a question, it's theater. A performance designed to make you feel guilty for even doubting them. Why would someone need to ask such a thing unless they already sensed you were close to the truth? This is not honesty, it's guilt manipulation. Because if they can make you ashamed for doubting, you'll stop asking questions. You'll silence your instincts. And that's exactly what they want, your compliance through self-censorship. Seneca gave us the rule. If it is not true, do not say it. If it is not right, do not do it. And notice, he never said convince others with dramatic speeches. A person of integrity never needs to plead innocence. They prove it day after day through action. Without fanfare. A liar, they beg. They perform, they act offended, because fog is their only shield. When someone asks, would I ever lie to you? The Stoic doesn't rush to comfort them. He doesn't waste energy reassuring or defending. Instead, he strips away the performance with clarity. Pause, let the silence stretch. Then say calmly, that's not the real question. The real question is, would I know if you did? In that moment, the stage lights flip, their theater collapses. Because liars thrive in fog, they need you blinded by doubt. But your words switch on the floodlight. And once the light is on, shadows can no longer hide them. Remember, honest people don't fear questions. They welcome scrutiny. Only liars pretend that doubt is an insult. So don't get trapped by their play acting. Don't mistake their hurt tone for truth. The Stoic knows that reality doesn't need performance. It stands firm on its own. When all else fails, the liar pulls out their last defense. Can't we just move on? On the surface, it sounds peaceful, like closure. But don't be deceived. It's not about healing. It's about escape. What they're really saying is, I don't want accountability. I don't want to face the truth. I just want you too tired to keep pressing. And this is how most lies survive. Not because the liar is brilliant, but because the truth seeker gives up. They rely on your exhaustion. They know if they keep dragging the fight out, you'll surrender just to find quiet. Marcus Aurelius warned, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Notice, he never added, unless it's inconvenient. For the Stoic, truth doesn't expire. It doesn't fade just because someone begs to move forward. Truth is timeless. A Stoic does not get dragged into endless argument, nor does he cave to exhaustion. When someone pleads, "Can't we just move on?" the Stoic breathes, stands firm, and replies with calm steel, "I'll move on when I understand what happened, not before." That sentence cuts through every excuse. It tells the manipulator you won't be rushed. It tells them your peace is built on clarity, not fatigue. Liars hate this because their entire strategy depends on wearing you down. But when you anchor yourself in truth, their weapon fails. Think of it like a storm hammering against a mountain. The storm will pass, but the mountain doesn't move. That's the Stoic posture. Moving on is not about speed, it's about honesty. Only when the truth is faced can true peace begin. Until then, moving on is just burying poison deeper into the ground. Understand this. Liars don't win with facts. They don't need logic. Their battleground is your emotions. They'll guilt you for asking questions. They'll shame you as too sensitive when you notice the cracks. And when guilt and shame don't work, they'll drag you until you're exhausted, hoping you'll drop your search for truth. That's the pattern. Guilt, shame, fatigue. It's not about proving you wrong. It's about making you surrender. And this is exactly why Stoicism is a weapon. Epictetus taught, "Some things are in our control, others are not." That single line is freedom. Because the moment you learn to separate what belongs to you from what doesn't, their tricks lose power, their emotions, not your responsibility, their anger, not your weight to carry, their shame games, not your problem. That's the shield. That's how you stop being their pawn. When manipulators mock your awareness as too sensitive, the Stoic doesn't shrink, he reclaims it. Sensitivity is not weakness, it's radar. It's the ability to see cracks before the wall collapses. A soldier who hears danger before anyone else. A leader who notices a flaw in the plan before disaster strikes. That's not fragility, that's foresight. The liar wants you blind, because blindness makes you easy to control. But the Stoic knows that what others call sensitivity is really vigilance sharpened by discipline. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, "If someone can show me I am wrong, I will change, for truth is my only aim." That's the difference. A man of integrity doesn't fear your awareness. He welcomes it. Only those with something to hide need you numb, distracted, or ashamed of what you see. The Stoic takes what they label weakness and turns it into strength. One of the manipulator's sharpest blades is guilt. They'll twist your caution into betrayal. They'll say, "Don't you trust me?" as if your wisdom is a crime. They'll act offended. "Would I ever lie to you?" as if your awareness is cruelty. But here's the Stoic truth. Their emotions are not your chains. Epictetus said, "When someone tries to provoke you, remember, it is your judgment of the event that disturbs you, not the event itself." That's power. The Stoic refuses to take ownership of someone else's act, someone else's fear, someone else's guilt trip. When they throw emotional chains, he sees them for what they are, illusions. And when you stop carrying weight that isn't yours, you become untouchable. Remember this. You are not cruel for asking questions. You are not disloyal for demanding clarity. You are disciplined for refusing to bow to guilt. Exhaustion is the liar's last weapon. They'll drag things out, circle the same arguments, repeat the same lines until your spirit grows tired. They don't need to win. They just need you to quit. That's how most people surrender. Not through defeat, but through fatigue. But the Stoic is different. He knows that time is neutral. He knows truth has no deadline. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Time is like a river of passing events, and its current is strong. No sooner is a thing brought to sight than it is swept by and another takes its place." The liar wants to wear you down with time, but the Stoic uses time as a weapon. He breathes, he waits, he refuses to be rushed. His peace is not tied to speed. His strength is in endurance. The manipulator can grow restless, but the Stoic remains still, outlasting every storm. The liar thrives on noise, your anger, your defense, your panic. They need you loud and reactive. But the Stoic knows three weapons that break every trap: silence, observation, detachment. Silence is not surrender, it's control. By refusing to react, you deny them the chaos they need. Observation is not weakness, it's precision. By watching closely, you see the cracks in their mask. Detachment is not coldness, it's freedom. By refusing to tie your peace to their games, you stay untouchable. Epictetus taught, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." Let them call you paranoid, overreacting, distant, it doesn't matter. while they waste energy spinning lies, you conserve energy sharpening clarity. Imagine a storm raging, thunder crashing, rain pouring, but inside, you stand still, calm, unbroken. That is Stoic power. Being unmoved when the world expects collapse. Every manipulator's tactic, guilt, shame, exhaustion depends on one thing. Your reaction, take away your reaction, and their weapon shatters. That's why Epictetus gave us the simplest, sharpest tool. The question, is this within my control or not? That one line slices through the fog. Their tone, not in your control. Their emotions, not in your control. Their attempts to twist truth, not in your control. But your response, that's yours. Your composure, that's yours. Your clarity, that's yours. And when you anchor yourself in what belongs to you, the liar can no longer enslave you. Imagine a chessboard. The manipulator thinks you're just a pawn, but when you refuse to play at their pace, when you move only with discipline, you reveal the truth. You're not the pawn. You're the player, and the one who sees clearly can never be controlled. Now you see the pattern. 5 questions, 5 traps. Why are you so sensitive? An attempt to shame your awareness. You trust me, right? A demand for blind obedience. Are you accusing me? A shield to flip the spotlight onto you. Would I ever lie to you? The theater of fake innocence. Can't we just move on? The desperate plea to escape accountability. Each one is a chess move, designed to push you into guilt, doubt, or surrender. But now, you hold the Stoic counter to each. Awareness reframed as strength, trust rebuilt on consistency, silence and composure against false accusations, clarity cutting through performance, and steady resolve against exhaustion. These aren't tricks, they are disciplines. They don't just protect you from manipulation, they forge you into someone unshakable, someone who doesn't panic, someone who doesn't fold, someone who can't be controlled. You are no longer a pawn in their game. You are the player. The Stoic doesn't need to shout or rage. He doesn't waste energy proving himself. He simply stands steady, gazes into truth, and lets the liar unravel. Seneca, Epictetus, Marcus Aurelius, they all knew the same law. The one who sees clearly cannot be enslaved. So, remember this. You are not cruel for demanding truth. You are not harsh for setting standards. You are not weak for noticing deception. You are awake. And in a world of shadows, the awake are feared. The choice is now yours. You can let manipulators twist your mind, or you can walk forward as a Stoic warrior. Calm, disciplined, unshakable. Never apologize for awareness. Never surrender clarity, because in the end, the one who commands himself cannot be commanded by anyone else. That is freedom. That is power. I want to hear from you. Have you faced these questions before? How did you respond? Drop your story in the comments below, because your experience might be the spark that helps someone else break free. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And remember, this is Momentum Mindset, where discipline is built, clarity is sharpened, and strength is forged. Stay focused, stay unshakable, and I'll see you in the next video.